Imagine being a kid and realizing your body doesn't follow normal rules. You're 9 years old, and you can move furniture like it's made of foam. You look at a sunset, and you see millions of shades that other humans literally don't have the equipment to process. Or you snap your arm and feel nothing. No pain, no warning, until you look down and see what your body should have screamed about. This isn't a superhero movie. These are real people walking around right now. And in the next few minutes, you're about to meet 8 genetic mutations that feel like reality glitches, human superpowers that exist in the real world. But here's the catch. Every one of them comes with a cost. Stay to the end, because the final one looks like something straight out of a vampire legend. Number 8. The Mini Hulk mutation. Most babies spend their first year learning balance, crawling, maybe taking wobbly steps. Liam Hoekstra didn't get that memo. As a toddler, he was doing strength feats that don't look real on camera. Pull-ups, crazy endurance, muscles showing way earlier than they should. Reports linked it to a rare condition called myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy, where the body has unusually low myostatin, the brake that normally limits muscle growth. The result? More muscle, less fat, strength that looks impossible for a child. Sounds amazing, until you imagine being a kid who has to constantly hold back during normal life. A hug can hurt. A playful push can become an accident. And standing out that hard, that can get lonely fast. Power isn't always freedom. Sometimes it's isolation. Number 7. The human camera. What if your brain could record the world like a perfect drone shot, then replay it on paper? Artist Stephen Wiltshire is famous for drawing massive, detailed cityscapes from memory after brief helicopter rides, creating intricate panoramas that shock people with how much detail he recalls. For most of us, memory is messy. It blurs, it edits. But for savants, it can feel like the brain is running a different operating system, one built for raw data capture. And that's the trade-off. When one ability goes through the roof, the rest of life doesn't always keep up the same way. Number 6. The curse of never forgetting. Most people forget embarrassing moments with time. Your brain softens the edges. The pain fades.
Now imagine the opposite. Jill Price is known for having an extremely rare form of autobiographical memory, often called hyperthymesia, where specific dates can trigger vivid recall of daily life events. It sounds like a gift until you realize you don't get to choose what comes back. Every argument, every breakup, every loss, not as a story you remember, but as something you relive with the same emotions still attached. Forgetting isn't a flaw. Sometimes it's mercy. Number 5. Seeing colors that don't exist to everyone else. Try to picture a completely new color, one no human has ever named. You can't. Your brain hits a wall. But some people may have an extra type of color receptor, something often discussed as tetrachromacy, where an additional cone could allow far more color variation than typical vision. And here's the problem. Even if someone really sees a wider palette, how do they prove it? Language doesn't have words for colors the rest of us can't perceive. So for them, the world might look richer and deeper, yet they're stuck trying to describe it to people who literally can't access the same view. A secret universe hiding in plain sight. Number 4. Life without pain. Imagine placing your hand on something burning hot and feeling nothing. No sting, no panic, no warning. Congenital insensitivity to pain is real, and while it sounds like a superpower, it's actually one of the most dangerous conditions a human can have. Pain exists for a reason. It's your body's alarm system. Without it, injuries don't feel urgent, infections don't get noticed, damage stacks up silently. People don't realize how much pain protects them until they meet someone who doesn't have it.
Number 3. Nearly unbreakable bones with a brutal catch. Now picture a body built like armor. Some rare genetic conditions can create unusually dense bones, bones so strong they can handle impacts that would normally cause devastating fractures. But nature doesn't hand out upgrades without side effects. In some cases, the same genetic changes that make bones dense can create other serious problems, especially involving teeth, nerves, or overall health. So the superskeleton comes with a weakness somewhere else, because biology always collects payment. Number 2, the disease that turns you into stone. This one is nightmare fuel. There's a rare disorder often known as Stone Man syndrome, fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, where the body can form bone in places it should never exist, like muscles and connective tissue, often triggered by injuries. A bruise doesn't heal normally. It can become permanent bone. Over time, the body essentially builds a second skeleton that locks joints, steals movement, and can even restrict breathing. And the cruelest part, even surgery can make it worse because the body treats the procedure like another injury. It's not just a condition, it's a slow, unstoppable prison. Number 1, the real-life vampire look. If you saw someone with extremely pale skin, missing hair, unusual teeth, and a look that horror movies love to copy, you might assume it's makeup. But there are real disorders that affect hair, teeth, skin, and sweat glands, including hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, which has been publicly associated with actor Michael Berryman. One of the scariest parts isn't appearance, it's heat. If sweat glands don't work properly, the body can't cool itself normally. Heat becomes dangerous fast. A hot day isn't uncomfortable. It can be life-threatening without strict temperature control. Hollywood sees a monster aesthetic. Real life is constant medical management. And yet, some people take what the world tries to label as fear and turn it into a spotlight. So yeah, these are 8 genetic superpowers that actually exist. But every one of them proves the same rule. Biology doesn't give gifts without consequences. Which one would you choose? And what do you think would be the downside you'd regret within a week? Share your story in the comments.